Okay. So are you on the page? It's
Hold on, I actually haven't got the page up yet. One sec.
page 150.
Also tweeting it out because, yeah.
Get that maximum exposure.
Let's see if I properly saved the page too. Yep, 150.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Cool, let's go then.
Yes.
Wait,
I'm good to go.
cool. Moet, examine unknown ancient entertainment hubs. Really, they aren't that unknown, they're just really old and outdated televisions. But despite that, as previously stated, your taste really dives into the esoterically eclectic. These running films and shows are all hundreds if not thousands of sweeps old, despite the fact that one is still airing to this day with a drastic decline in quality. Remember that joke? Still made me laugh the second time. and are
That's
only
good.
and are only able to be seen because of the stray wreckage you find around land. Well, that and these tapes are supposed to be virtually indestructible. The ones you the ones you like to keep running are the ones that make you think and contemplate your existence as much as you contemplate the workings of the media itself.
Right, when we stopped, it was right before the Dismas
Oh,
control panel.
oh, lovely. Here we go.
That's wonderful timing.
Oh, that is something. The
It sure
absolute,
is.
the absolute pride of your entire collection. You made it yourself. Normally, this sort of thing is for an imaginary physical courtship ceremony, but you and he are way past pretending in that stage. Oh, right, I should probably explain what that means. Actually, I've noticed I brought up a few terms that have been left unexplained thus far. Let's get that out of the way now. Ex- explain species mating procedures. I'm suddenly worried. Oh boy. Let's get through this.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Okay. We will keep the romance portion of this brief, as we will need to return to it at a later time. Oh, lovely. For now, all you need to know is that trolls fall into four quadrants of similar yet varying tones and represented by easily recognisable and coloured suits that should grasp your interest rather quickly. They are called matesmanship, more allegiance, auspices, and kismicissitude. The foremost and lattermost are the only ones who truly take part in these acts, dealing in respective forms of pity rather than love, one being closer and more tender, it being red, and the other one much more bitter and brooding, this one being blackened. The mating ceremony itself, however, is basically the same in both forms. It is all just in the matter of practice in the moment that it begins to shift, but that is between the two trolls and is nobody else's business, frankly. These trolls are very sentimental creatures that take their courtship seriously, almost to the point of being territorial on the issue. Choosing a mate isn't all fun and games. The choice can't be random and the choice can't be meaningless. Sexual intimacy comes much, much later after this special someone is chosen. You really would need to be prepared to do this, as the experience is life-changing, not by nature of the action, but by completely closing your emotional bonding with one another. Ironically and obviously, this act is done physically. I'm worried. But once you enter...
I'll say now you don't have to be worried.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not going to be,
Yeah,
like,
but
graphic.
it's also like subtly different from Alternian romance, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I'm, like, going through it quickly because there's a lot of it, but there is, as you say, it's kind of interesting, subtle differences already.
Yeah.
But once you enter, you can't exit very easily. It's a bond that most often begins leading the two parties to be intertwined as one unit in one square to have and to hold for as long as they may live. The reproduction alone doesn't necessarily have to do with the ceremony at all. The process of such really does help nurture the troll to become ready for it to happen, and pleading them to only take part when ready for such a commitment. Or at least they do in this day and age. Reproduction on this planet is not inherently sexual by nature, at least not in conjunction with other rituals. It gets one all on its own. A few times in a troll's lifespan, they will be asked to go to their most conveniently located reproduction stable to leave behind some form of genetic material to give to the helpful and friendly service droid who makes your personal stable as comfortable as possible for you to give to society in the most literal manner there is. Well, that's definitely different.
Yeah.
Well, the drones are nice on this planet. That's good.
They don't murder you outright.
That's always, like, a
From what I can
positive.
tell.
Well, this offering can be anything as easy as a strand of hair to the more obvious notions of blood and seed. The more you give, the more dominant it becomes in the system. After receiving the easiest made sample, the droid sends it off to an unknown location for it to be stored until use is needed. From there, they mechanically pupate grubs using the DNA of the donors, crafting them to be similar yet different in order to carry their lineage and their symbol back into the outside world. These trolls will then become that grub's ancestor, and will normally be dead by the time of their hatching. So
See, that's interesting because genetic material means more than one thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be, that one obvious bit.
Yeah.
Like you can decide to lop off your own hair and use that as genetic material.
That's nice to have the option, you know. That's easier, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it also works for any trolls who may be asexual too, I guess.
Oh yeah. I gotta wonder who's deciding to, like, give their blood instead of just, like, some hair or whatever. Like, what? Like, who's going for the painful option?
You never know with trolls, honestly.
I suppose so. So yeah, the ancestors seem to work similarly. So this is interesting to see the differences and similarities so far.
Yeah.
I like the, I guess the sort of world building.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Every troll, whether they know about it or not, has an ancestor of shared blood and I don't know how to pronounce that word. Sigil or sigil? Yeah, it's just one of those words I never heard out loud, you know? Sigil.
Yeah.
Records on lineage were kept stable throughout later time, though recently many of those records have been lost due to the planet's overall decline. It was once so easy to know where you came from. Any troll who wanted to find out about their ancestry could do so without too much effort. Now, information on these subjects are not so easily found outside of performance arts and decrepit paintings. There was once a point where a descendant's ancestor could be heralded as a hero of fortune or a scoundrel amongst the commotion. Both sentiments were viable, and as such many tales and fables have been crafted regarding the nature of certain lives that broke the mould of importance. But no good story truly stays fully in fiction. Our trolls' ancestors are special cases in history, as their descendants will also be. All 12 of their elders had a hand in creating a new world. Sorry. All 12 of their elders had a hand in creating a new world as much as they had a hand in destroying it. Leading for all up-and-coming events to take place as they rightfully needed to. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out more about that later. Does that mean we don't know yet, even being caught up?
Yeah, I actually have no idea, because as far as I know, that hasn't been revealed in full yet. So that's all I'll say about that.
Love that foreshadowing. Always good stuff.
Very much so.
Their tale is one that is commonly referenced, but never truly grasped to its full potential due to the technical inaccuracy of person-by-person bias on the subject. This story will also have to be pieced together as we go along. It really does feel as if I'm handing you way too much information right from the get-go, but so many things wouldn't make much sense if I didn't give you at least the slightest briefing, even if the topic feels all too familiar. I can tell you're curious, so allow me to give you one hint you might remember from earlier. It has something to do with a curse by blood. Hmm. Hints about things. Mummet, check in on Dismas. Oh yeah, he's doing just fine.
Yes, as fine as he can be anyway.
I don't know. I don't know how fine he's doing, just looking at him. As always, he's giving you the best footage you can ask for. You can hear him yelling angrily for you to answer him, and you do so through the based oculatory Operation Buddy drone sort of chatter system.
I love the boob drone.
It exists. I'll tell you that much. This specific drone gives anatomically correct facts relating to the use of female troll chests and their many psychological functions in daily life. He isn't very fond of this, you can tell because of all the incoherent growling.
That's part of Bro's charm.
I guess so. Check in on the blue guy. Oh, this is... something's going on here. Troll zombies?
Troll zombies.
I guess so. Actually, that is a thing, isn't it? That was meant in like Homestuck. It was mentioned and never appeared. So maybe that's what this is. I don't know.
I forget if it was mentioned that they come out during the day. I forget exactly.
Yeah. I think so. It was in Kanai's introduction, wasn't it? Isn't it like Kanai canonically kills zombies and we never see her doing it, and that's a crime.
Right? I want justice, damn it. I need to see this actually happen. But hey, at least we got to see her kill Aridin, so we got that.
That's a fair point. You check in on the blue guy. Nothing out of the usual here, which is exactly the problem. Is this not out of the usual? You would think the time...
This guy.
You would think the time he spends collecting corpse parts from these heinous-looking undead guys would at least lead to a couple yuck-worthy scrapes, but it's never anything but light thriller melodrama. It's sad, but not the kind of sad you're looking for. Examine colourful cube. I noticed that earlier. I was wondering why it's in a display case. You've rigged this rudimentary puzzle toy into a weapon to be used against yourself in your underground hole traps. Moving sides will in turn rotate the many walls of the expansive room to varying angles. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Each leading to different passageways with a different plethora of rigged devices waiting for you. Though the goal is always to reach the same finish. You're... I just...
Remember how I said there's a room worse than this one?
Your hentai dungeon. I just saw that coming up as I was reading. Oh my god. This guy's a lot to deal with.
Please don't ban us.
But before you can get raveled into your toys, you remember there was a plot you need to keep moving. Yeah, I was starting to think that. The first step towards continuing it is to answer the two friends you've left on the back burner while you committed your hilarious antics. Examine monitors. Oh, okay, this is probably a good view of like everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing who that is. There's zombie dude. I'm no good at remembering names. Arcjek. Albion is the name, isn't it? In the bottom right.
Sorry, what were you saying?
In the bottom right, is it Albion? Am I getting the name right there?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing...
She is now weeping as a result of what she was just told last time.
Yeah. It's coming back to me vaguely. I never remember what's going on.
She is someone who tries to... Or, well, I guess she wasn't really trying. She's been able to stay upbeat and happy the entire time, and then this is her breaking point. Where she finally,
I see. We've not been introduced to any of the others, I don't think. Any of the others that we can see here.
I think that's Taz in the bottom left.
Oh, right. I don't know like all the horns yet. It's hard to tell from
Yeah,
now.
but I think out of all the ones we were introduced, it's just we only have 3 of
Yeah,
them so far.
yeah, yeah. This guy with
And
the
I want to say that the
oh
very top one next to our Jack is his hentai dungeon.
yeah,
That's a guess
I
though.
was wondering that.
I'm going to issue a warning beforehand. There will be one panel where we actually see the hentai dungeon.
Oh, at least I can be mentally prepared now. So thank you for
Be
that.
prepared because you will not know when it comes up.
Well, I'll just constantly.
when I was reading it, I wasn't expecting when it came up.
Well, I'll just make.
It was a surprise.
I'll just make sure to constantly be living in fear of hentai until it comes up.
I'm so sorry.
What was I even? I was gonna say something, but I forgot, so I'll just read it. You got off track. These.
Oh god, I just remembered that I have to keep voicing his lines soon.
Oh, have fun with that. These
No, I'm kidding. He's fun. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
These monitors are for the smaller cameras you bugged in secret compartments among the rest of the fodder. That's each one being another.
Yeah.
Each one being another hollowed out television, except for your desktop computer. You have 11 total cameras for 11 total people to watch over, including yourself. I'm just wondering, what about the 12th then? I'm sure we'll find out.
Good question.
Thinking. You didn't really think you wouldn't include yourself in your watching for missteps, did you? That would just be totally unfair. But there are no other cameras, just 11. Especially no cameras for a 12th party. As far as you're concerned, 11 is the only number that matters. That's... Oh god, I'd see Bunsy Buddy. First thing I see on the next page.
Yeah.
Why? And also meet sexy singles on MSN.
You will never leave.
There's no escape. Your desktop, while unseen at the moment, is a hodgepodge of toolbars and spam that you ensure will slow down anything you would like to do. You also use the worst browser you can find, Galena, in order to ensure you browse on hard mode. I think my parents do the same thing.
Oh my god.
Your score theme is... I almost don't want to say that. It's Tit-tastic Temptations. I can't deal with this guy.
That's Mert for you.
Oh, I love him, but I hate him.
He's just like that.
Oh. And you would think that this might be a custom-made theme, but unfortunately it isn't. Not unfortunate for you, but certainly for everybody else.
Including the readers.
Yes. You left a rousing game of... Oh, I have to say this again. Anthropomunicipality with your friend earlier. Blue Dog must be wondering where you went. Answer Blue Dog. Wait, is Blue Dog a... I thought he just meant a carrot.
Blue Dog is
I see.
that lad.
Right.
Who I voiced last time but cannot now. So...
Oh yeah, if you're gonna keep being Moet, I'll take over. I forget. Oh yeah. So I was just getting mixed up with names.
Yeah.
I'm good.
But I'll at least let you know of this. He has like a lung condition. So whenever you see a dash appear, it's kind of like him just kind of taking a breather, basically catching his breath.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's why I was reading it the way I was reading it last time.
I'm not sure I could be bothered to do that. I don't know. It just, I don't know.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to.
Oh no, I mean, I'll read them because obviously, don't want to leave you to both of them. Just the breathe. I don't know. I'd feel weird This would be.
I
I don't know why.
I could try to voice both of them since you've been reading everything up to this point. So
Well,
whatever seems more fair to you.
I don't know.
works.
I feel like it just makes sense in general. You know, when there's dialogue to take one each.
Yeah.
You know. So I'll just.
Or do you want to take Murd this time?
Can't say I particularly do. I'll just read Dismiss. Oh.
Okay, there we go.
I'll just read Dismiss and I don't know. Like maybe not do much of a voice for him, but just because I can't think of like a good voice. Sorry, not Dismiss. Yeah, sorry, I'm saying.
His name was never revealed.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said Dismiss. I'm all over the place, getting mixed up. Whatever. I'll just read the lines.
Whichever is more fair for you.
Yeah, I'll just read him. But like, if you're, I guess, his main person, I won't really bother with much of a voice. I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, I think that makes sense if, you know, if we are like, you know, the certain characters, but if someone's got two characters at the same time, we can temporarily. Yeah. Whatever. I'll read the line.
That's fine. We can go with that.
Okay. Are you alive? That's the line.
Nah.
Oh, all right. I guess I'll just go lay down or something.
Hey, whoa. Can't just be sleeping peeping on this here night. You know the drill. It's game time.
Well, it's been game time. It was great, but you vanished and left me all alone. It ruined the flow.
Oh my fucking god, you wise ass mini lungs. You is the only one with the real deal, with the real deal know-how on this front, and you thought I'm still aching on. Wow.
I don't blame you.
Hold on. Let me figure out what he's saying here. Okay. Sorry. Alright, let me start that again. Oh my fucking god, you wise-ass mini-lungs. You is the only one with the real deal know-how on this front, and you thought I'm still aching on about small potato fried pseudo-feels? Badly rendered games where you flap your arms in a barren void with politically undertoned furnishings is my kind of game. It is my fave. Goddamn! Badly rendered games where you flap your arms in a barren void with politically undertoned furnishings is my fave kind of game, but you know the big deal is starting to be pushed out right from under us.
More important stuff, like harassment. Right, my mistake. Woof. Why?
Whatever. Whatever, did you see him tonight?
No, don't know why. He should have been here. That's partially why I was going to take a short snooze. Figured it'd be worth a quick check. Or if that still doesn't happen, a brief visit to Dreamland before everything starts getting hectic.
Gonna bring him the papers, I'm guessing. Which, by the way, just want to let you know, that's still real dumb headwork on your end, bastard bloods. Why read about what don't matter in the long run? They're gonna be touching and feeling all up on destiny and end-form righteousness soon enough. Life and times of plastic molded battle pieces won't be the first thing they is headed towards.
Yeah, well, it was just a bit of a stunt at first, but I started and just didn't feel right stopping. Had to keep it going, like a civic duty. Not even really about the content. Provides nice visual to speak a testament to how outrageous it has become at this point. Haven't done that yet, so I might as well.
Sounds like a big excuse to steal my flavorful stylings. Don't forget to be who you is. I know you ain't got much of a personality besides everyday normal guy, and I know you're getting that through your thick pupper skull, but you know what? There's another thing inside of ya. And on the outside of ya, and it's representing who you is. It's called being a dog.
Am I not fulfilling that enough? With how I literally make dog noises to show how dog-esque I am?
Well, dogs can't talk, can they?
Oh, right. I'm not doing dog noises. Woof, arf, bark, bark.
They can't type neither.
I died. Wervenem for f clef Effeldifnumwa.
There we fucking go. Now you're 100% original.
Grujiki for the 8 if 8.
You got it, doggo. Now hurry it up with the Z. You ain't got more than a couple hours before first impact.
You can.
Yo, nighty night. See ya.
That was fun. Answer the other troll. Ooh.
Okay, this one you're gonna like this one because he doesn't have a fucking quirk.
Oh, that's amazing.
Also, my personal headcanon for this guy is that he's got maybe a bit of an English accent, but not like stereotypical English, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming.
But he's also like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just
he's a rich dude.
Yeah, I'll just see what feels right, I guess.
Yeah.
So we go on. Also, this guy's whatever they call it, the highest fuchsia.
Highest, yeah. He's a fuchsia blood.
Oh.
Or whatever the equivalent would be on Repertoire.
Oh yeah, some of them are different, aren't they? Grandiose saturation. Hey, so I believe you told me that everything is going to get demolished, correct?
What?
All of those things you told me earlier about us taking action and the now more inevitable planetary destruction.
Oh, right, those things. Couldn't understand you tween the golden shovel you got cut up in your throat and the flagrant jackhole talking over your visage.
You petulant wriggler, what has become of you? You used to be such a distinguished individual.
God, we're glubbing doing this?
I like voicing this kind of guy. This posh asshole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love him, actually.
I think it's the kind of personality that fits my voice.
Then he is perfect for you.
Apparently we are, and now I have even more to say. First of all, you do not deserve to use any sort of fish-related puns, especially not in my presence. Second, just don't make fish puns at all. Ever.
Okay, I'm sorry, bruh. Thought you would appreciate a player playing into your hand. Ain't you the entire world supply of royal function reclamation? Or at least the one who ruminates it by the fire in the priceless painting of an aquatic merbovine?
I am, and one of the only two of us left in any sort of hierarchy for expanses. Perhaps you should learn to shape back up and properly fulfill the role you've been granted, instead of disregarding any and all semblance of decency and dragging it through the turbidites. It would do you some good, despite how little value you may still actually hold at this point. Aquatic-related witticisms are the most novice and I don't know what that word means. Atiliolated form of any sort of sea-dweller idiosyncrasy. They're stupid and worthless, and anyone who uses them legitimately is only fit to be viewed in the same manner. I don't even believe that they became such a conventional trope on anything more than a bad joke. I will continue to view them as such.
I feel like that's a light jab at, like, the actual use of quirks in home stuff.
Yeah. I appreciate this guy not having a quirk.
Do I gotta respond to this? Didn't understand what the fuck hell you just said.
Yes, you gotta. That is how conversations work.
Okay, but consider the fact that I don't wanna.
You don't wanna? Once again, a rather poor and juvenile excuse. You never want to do anything of any real importance, it seems. This is a serious issue that we need to discuss, but I'll relent for now. I wanted to come here civilly with a different topic to begin with. You're the one that started a scene by deciding to immediately respond with petty insults, instead of just answering my inquiry properly.
Yeah, some questions.
Oh, this guy looks fancy. I mean, well, clearly, yes, he is. But he looks the part.
He pulls it off well.
You You never properly answered my original one, but I'll take a positive response on it regardless. What was that? Regardless, since I was only seeking verification. My more important piece would be regarding any potential preservation of belongings. I understand that most things will be lost, but is there any method besides the obvious to your knowledge of sparing a portion?
If you already know, then why the fuck you asking? Said it yourself. Most of it's gonna be vaporized, and I said that was the point of the glyphics made crystal clear. We ain't gonna exist here anymore after these giant-ass rocks crater our lives to the ground. No more living spaces, no more cushy ego-stroking putt courses, no more divine wines, and definitely no more hoity-toity pleasure sword-packing gender politic groups ramble-rousing on the streets about how they live on a tighter plane because they ain't got no plush chest tanks. Great, nice euphemism. It's just gonna be us and wherever it is we go from here into the void of new beginnings. So you best be getting ready to readjust your life plan. Think it's high tide time to stop doing that.
Well, then I definitely have plenty of my own concerns on the matter, not just about the aforementioned. Ignoring some of what he said, I was more worried about the possessions I felt that I might actually need in a situation like this. I'm simply trying to be prepared, though I can see you're not going to be of any real assistance either way. Not entirely sure why I bothered either, since I should have known better about the outcome of a response from you.
Then, why are you talking to me? Seems like as usual you're making your own issues out for yourself here.
Because I presumed it would be worth my while to at least give a bit of searching a shot. Clearly, however, it really wasn't worth as much as I may have initially hoped. It's not exactly an issue as much as it is just a bit disappointing. With that being said, I really do not have much more to say to you myself, as you seem to desperately desire. So we might as well be done here for now. Unless for some strange reason you have anything else important to say to me, I'll be on my way.
Just one. Your stroke game weak!
Delightful.
He's into golfing.
I guess so. Mullet, remind yourself of what was important. You think you've had enough of the natural order now. You did as you were intended, and now it's time for us to move on to our last true introductory moment for this section. Ooh, another new troll. Yes. Once again, be the blue guy. Ooh, frostbite. And now we are meeting the final member of our initial half group at last. As we've seen, he is one of the two aforementioned blue guys. While he does have a name, all others feel as confident as he does that the blue guy works just as well. Okay, I guess he's the blue guy.
Yep.
We aren't yet in a position to reveal his true name, but we will be very soon. We just need to wait patiently for when the chance arrives. Blue guy, look at papers. Let's see this. Heroes of Breath, Rage, Blood, Life, and Hope. Oh, I gotta remember that. I just saw it in the newspaper. Predicted awakening of Heroes of Breath, Rage, Blood, Life, and Hope.
Yeah, they only mentioned 5 of them because the 6th one is already awake.
Yeah, he's also blue guy. Wondering what his aspect will be then. We already know Hope. We saw a Hopey looking thing, but
yeah,
I don't know if we know for sure who that is related to. I don't know.
I actually forget exactly who. I want to say that was Dismas. I'm trying to remember who we saw that hope symbol with.
Yeah, well, I don't exactly remember. I have a really bad memory for these sorts of things. When I was reading Homestuck, I had to go back and check a lot of stuff.
It was like 2 weeks ago, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even I forgot, and I saw it twice, so I'm not any better.
Fair enough. You've just about finished your nightly news fetch on the golden moon of Prospect. You have to deliver it still, but it occurs to you that you should take a moment to look the paper over before you give it to him. Or him, capital letters, important. This place is practically... Wow, I just spat loads onto my screen. I don't know how that happened. That was gross.
Nice.
Just,
Very graceful.
just letting you know, because I know you want to know. Where was it? Was this place is practically a second home that you have known since you were young, so the least you can do is know what's going on. You share this moon with 5 others of your group. A group in which this moon celebrates as heroes. I don't think the word "in" should be there. And those 5 others will be... Oh, I'm just pointing out typos. And those 5 others...
I think I missed a typo.
A group in which this moon celebrates as heroes. I don't think that should have in it.
No, that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not... Oh, I'm missing something. Of what? You know what? It doesn't matter.
I think both ways are correct, really.
I don't know. I don't know grammar. These 5 others will be waking up soon. Other than yet another guesstimate on their awakening, you notice a very handsome picture of yourself and the nice paper printer who spends most of his time thanking you, and a headline that begins to worry you a little. Moon Union tensions on the rise. I mean, that's still better than it was in in Homestuck, that they had a union at all.
Yeah. Also, he's referred to as a knight, so he's a knight.
Oh, did it say? Wait. I'm just gonna go look at the. Was that on the paper? Oh yes.
Headline.
Oh yes,
Yep.
yes. I just kind of skimmed over that. It's a knight, but we don't know his aspect yet. But ponder worry. I like the expression on this panel. Ponder worries. I keep saying that the expressions are really good in this, but that's because they are.
They are good. The art is just super good.
Yeah, I mean, the art in general, it's just... I feel like a lot of the expressions especially have been, standing out. Oh, it's a fancy looking page. This moon and the furthest moon known as Durst revolve around an unknown essence of unlimited potential known as Skya, which has been around since conception. The 2 moons have an excessive amount of lore relating to the entity due to its whispers and sharing of many secrets. Secrets that told the moons of heroes that will come and bless them with their presence. Heroes that will give their lives meaning. The 2 moons have 2 very different opinions on this. The former, who worships the energy and the blank planets that it has spouted as a creative force for their heroes' use, and the latter, who despises it out of fear of the heroes using said force as a weapon against their current way of life. These opinions grew to be very strong amongst the community, as they were the thoughts of the kings and queens of each respective society. So it seems like a lot of how I know it's not called suburb in this. Seems like a lot of that is the same so far.
Yeah.
I've lost where I was. Crowds couldn't be silenced. Mass panic began to ignite the flame of war for the partnering lands. A war that none of them were prepared to fight. A war that they could not fight, though they tried many times to do so. To cease the ever-growing hysteria over the battles they could never win, the leaders of the 2 moons finally made a pact, deciding that the only way the 2 nations could truly trust each other was by doing nothing.
And there's the difference.
Yeah. Deciding this caused the gift they were given to create something they weren't expecting. The seemingly dormant crucible reacted to their decision accordingly. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Blocking...
That's the black...
Yeah.
Red ring.
Yeah, so that is actually... I was wondering what that was, but that's actually like Skya with a thing around it then?
Barrier. It's like a barrier.
I guess I should just read it. Deciding this caused the gift they were given to create something they weren't expecting, the seemingly dormant crucible reacted to their decision accordingly, blocking any use of its well of knowledge by creating a nigh impenetrable force field of pure light with the power of its initial form's shell, reverting itself to an unknown entity stirring within its pocket. The 2 moons now hesitantly work together with the aim of releasing Skya from the prison they created after this in an attempt to figure out just what happened to the purpose they once knew, now seeing it not as a passive use, but as a living entity angered by their past choices. Little did they know that Skya's plan all along was only to bring them closer together. And while the blue guy here knows these points from a technical aspect, I'm the one who has the little details. I'm the only one who would know. I created all of this. And I forget that the narrator is like a character in this. Maybe I should be doing a voice, but there's too much of it.
Honestly, your regular voice has been fine so far.
Yeah, I mean, don't know enough about them yet about them to really make a judgment on a voice anyway. If I was going to.
Yeah.
Cultural affairs aren't for you though. They never have been. Really, it's none of your business what happens to anybody other than yourself. You prefer to remain as an observer rather than an active participant in the midst of quandaries, whether you're directly involved or otherwise. And right now, all you want to be involved in is getting yet another paper where it belongs. So does this guy just deliver papers around Frostbit?
Yeah,
like,
that's his thing.
I don't know.
Why
like,
not?
It'd be weird for like this legendary hero who's like been sleeping in this tower forever, just wakes up and starts delivering papers.
I think he just decided to do that on his own. Like, it wasn't like a job that was given to him.
Yeah,
I think he just wants to do it to like this is a personal observation, just a way to kill time.
Yeah, I just
waiting for the others to wake up.
I just feel like it's got to be weird for the suspicions,
like,
you know.
Because Murit said, you don't have to do that, and he's like, yeah, but I want to.
Yeah. So, what is it? Hero of... Is it the hero of Breath? Oh.
Yep.
Cluttering most... Also, why is everything newspapers?
Because he doesn't have a bed.
I guess so. Cluttering most of the hero of Breath's dream block is the numerous amount of pre-delivered Frostbit dailies. You highly doubt he's going to read them, but even past the joke value, he might gain some valuable insight were he to take a look at a few of these. You also noticed prior to this visit that he had slipped out of his recuperacoon due to all the squirming about that he does in his slumber.
Oh right, he does have a bed. Never mind.
And made him a nice little vest mat out of the old prince to hopefully service him a little better. Oh, that's nice.
I love the blue guy, he's adorable.
Yeah. Deliver once more. In his mouth. Oh, it looked like he was going to put it in his mouth. You really wish he could have been here with you from the beginning. Maybe it could have made him a little happier.
Oh.
Ah. Oh. He flickered.
Static.
Seen that before. Easy boy. You think you
forgot about that.
Like flickered, it was like happy for a moment, it looked like. Yeah. That's interesting. You think you're just going to go ahead and leave now and forget that just happened. It's fair.
That's what I would do.
To know where you didn't know you would be going to, and to someone you haven't been able to forget. Still though. Oh!
Still though.
What? Oh.
That happens.
That took me by surprise. So it is this dude, as expected. This place might still hold a few surprises, if not in its visuals, then in me personally. I've been looking forward to this really, this being our first meeting since your ill-fated youth. What? I had no intention in seeing you later than intended, only in waiting on the right moment. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, talking to him outright. You can still be the blue guy. And I'll be White Noise. I've heard that name around.
Yep, that's his name.
Mate, this is... I don't know what's going on. And we'll get through this act together. At least at first. This is really the point where I should try to come up with a voice, but... Yeah. if this guy is going to be narration all the way through, I'd just... You know, I'll just...
Honestly, when it comes to narration, your regular voice is fine, but if he's talking directly, if you want, you can do a voice.
Yeah, I
or
mean...
you can do your regular voice.
Yeah.
Either way is fine with me.
I mean, I'm really not sure what kind of a voice to give him still. I don't know. Well, I'll see how it goes.
Especially because right now we don't know anything. Well, you don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
Kind of hard to gauge.
Yeah, we'll Just see how it develops. And we'll get through this act together. At least at first. Ah, you're here. Oh, hello. I'd like to start off... It's a cool design. It's like a... The skull is sort of like a dog skull, I want to say.
I think so.
Yeah, it's interesting design. I like it. Well, I mean, I like his design.
He's got a more reptilian vibe to him, only because his clothes are green.
What vibe?
But I don't know otherwise what kind of skull it's supposed to be. But a dog skull seems accurate.
Yeah. I'd like to start off by apologising. It's terribly rude of me to exacerbate your lung condition just to serve my purposes. I can't imagine how uncomfortable it must have felt. But then again, that may be because I don't have lungs. And big scratch vibes off this guy.
Yay, I get to voice him again.
Oh. So are you going to be blue guy?
Yeah. Because I love him.
That's fair. Oh yeah, of course you already... Yeah, why am I asking? I'll try and give this guy some kind of a voice this time.
Yeah. It's fine. I'm used to it. But why now?
Why now, you ask? Weren't you the one who went to sleep for the express purpose of speaking with me? It's simple cause and effect. I'm only giving you what you wanted. And truly I have done nothing but give you what you want, have I not? I have been your timeless servant, outside of both concept and causality. But I forget my place. For you, there has been a great passing of time since we made our deal. I think it has been long enough that you have grown in both size and profundity. Before, you were a mere child, meandering through existence, lacking foresight. You were immature, full of the ill-conceived. But as for why now? Now you are almost ready. The moment draws near for you to fulfill your end of the bargain.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting this. Anticipating it, really. I just hoped you would time to transition better is all. What do you want me to do? Exactly?
Ever the pragmatist, aren't you? Always straight to the point. No time for any flowery prose. You intertwine yourself so effortlessly with others, despite how boisterous or insufferable they may act. Can't you do the same for me? It's a mutual habit of ours to rush, I think. The roses of life remain undisturbed when we prioritise haste, don't you agree? Perhaps we should take a moment to ourselves. We can learn about each other. Doesn't that sound nice? Go ahead. Ask me anything.
Oh, alright. So, what happened to your skin? Is it just, like, lying around somewhere? And if so, do you, like, need it for anything? Can I have it?
Weird question. Giving you my skin would necessitate having skin in the first place.
Man, I just can't win today. Nobody has anything I want.
Why did you want his skin? What? When you ask a question, you must be prepared for the answer. The truth is of utmost importance. The truth shapes you. It moulds your very essence. It carves your being like a chisel to fine marble into what it was always destined to become. Do you know what you are destined to become?
What is that even supposed to mean?
It means both nothing and everything. The grasping of metaphors is a sign of higher intelligence, you know. Crypticisms and strange symbols are intrinsic playthings to a trained mind. They create the questions that grasp and throttle your intuition, that force you to come to terms with the plasticity of your ego. What I'm trying to say is this. They keep you from being bored. I don't want you to be bored. Just the same I don't want our audience to be bored. And so I tell a story. A story that encompasses all the necessary engaging elements an audience could hope for. And all I have to do is say the right things at the right times.
Alright.
You ought to pose a better inquiry. Complacency does not suit heroes. Are you not interested in the game you are about to play? Perhaps that is the subject matter you should be pursuing. It would be the route that would lead you to the deepest understanding of your near future. But we won't talk about that now. We must follow the outline. Each and every conversation has a goal it must meet. To divulge more than is necessary is to crucify the suspense, and with it the story. Storytelling is hard work, almost as hard as social bonding. This is why I take us down these winding roads, not because I enjoy taunting you, but because I wish to truly know you. These detours and strange concepts, these bastardized cultural quirks and painfully ironic twists, they all serve to establish my position as a student with you as my subject.
Well, now you're just rambling. I'm just gonna ask a question, if that's alright. To avoid more of that, what can you tell me about the game?
Were you not paying attention? To reveal too much would be to ruin the mystique. I can tell you one thing though, your objective is to win. You play, and you win. The game is orchestrated ideally for this purpose. Unfortunately, this objective is not in the cards for you. In reference to this notion, especially not for you, nor with the hero of time.
Wait, so we can't win? Then, why did me and Murray do all this? Why should we play your game?
It isn't your job to be dramatic, it's mine. To fail is not to be faced with inevitable defeat. You, like all living creatures, will undergo an evolution, though this evolution is not genetic in nature. You will evolve to become a superior version of yourself, so that you can effectively face what is ahead of you. Haven't you heard that saying? Try, try, try again? It undoubtedly applies here. We are just taking all the necessary precautions.
Even to this day, I wonder what exactly this is alluding to.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about here. I'm not really saying much, just because of the conversation, but I am thinking about a lot of this stuff.
Alright, fair enough. If I'll get another chance after I fail, I can handle that. I'm just confused. Why choose a game like this? If we stand a risk of repeated failure, wouldn't it be easier to choose something simpler?
If your goals were all laid out for you in such a gluttonous display, would you really be interested? Knowing you, I would guess not. Attention spans are not naturally long, and decadence only shortens what is already unsatisfactory. You have managed to survive so long already, but why? Without question? Without debate or protest of indignation or imagination? You go about your routines, you allow yourself to be subjected to mere circumstance, and you pretend to be satisfied. How can you do this to yourself? Conscious beings should not suffer with no payoff. They should not toil under the dogmas of others simply because they are asked to do so. You must orchestrate your machinations in such a way that you create an offer that cannot be refused, something so enticing that it will act as your foundation, your suspension to keep you from falling flat. These are the games you play, they spit in the face of true challenge. They are bread and they are circuses. Are you not searching for fun, discovery, companionship, or at the very least, shenanigans?
I don't know what I'm searching for. That's why I took your offer in the first place.
I really want to know what this offer is. So you agreed because you are afraid. You allow yourself to become crippled by your doubt, so fearful of making the wrong choice that, in many ways, you refuse to act. Do you feel as if you're doing something wrong? That being in this moment with me is wrong?
I guess I'm always kind of afraid of messing something up. I mean, this is a big deal, right? I don't even know what any of this means. Let alone, do I feel confident enough to handle it?
But where is your alternative? Would you rather return to your old life? Would you rather live out your days stitching bodies, hoping against hope that the next one you find won't be someone you care about? Look at yourself. In the story I am telling, it is becoming clearer with every word that you care deeply about those who do not care for themselves. In the world you live in, Death is commonplace, and healthy minds are few and far between. Without this deal, the cycle will be broken by total annihilation. You are far better equipped for this than you know, maybe even more than I know, if only because you have no other options. You are, in many ways, at the end of your rope. In much the same way, I am nearing the end of mine. There are some cases in this life where it is blissful to be ignorant. To truly understand would be to torment the mind, leaving initiative to atrophy. The more you would understand, the more difficult it would become to act. We cannot risk indecisiveness when so much is at stake. Just remember what I have told you. The rest shall become clear when it needs to be so.
To be honest, that freaks me out a little, but I suppose I don't have much of a choice at this point. I did promise.
And the grace you have shown in keeping your word makes me all the more confident in my decisions. What I am about to ask you to do is not simply a service to me, but to yourself as well, and to those about whom you play this game with. Understanding this will help you in your personal journey. You walk an isolated path. Like the story itself that I tell, it will splinter, seeming to careen endlessly into the obscure realm that is space. But it is not without purpose. In fact, it is your purpose incarnate. Allow me to show you the reason for our meeting. This is the green sun. Whoa. Huh.
Green sun on a necklace.
It's just...
just a miniature green sun.
Yeah, it's smaller than I remember it. Or maybe these two are just really big.
It's not actually shrunken down from what I know.
Yeah, well, that's the real difference between Alternia and Repeton. They're just massive on Repeton. It's actual size green sun.
Including the trolls.
Yeah. I remember... I feel like I read something on like Twitter or whatever about like what if like the humans and trolls like met up in Cascade and all that, and the trolls were just like tiny or something. I don't remember what it was. It was funnier than I'm making it sound. It's because there was no way for them to know they were like the same size.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Okay. Yeah, it sure is. But I don't know what or why it is.
And now I can tell you. It is the very essence of existence, the force that powers the complex multiverse from its most structured forms to those that are egregiously entropic. I preside over all of them. It provides a heat so pure, so powerful, that it fuels the division between the perpetuation of life and the all-encompassing destruction that waits behind it. It was gifted as my heart and my soul from my Creator. With it, I now protect all that is alive in their place. But soon, like all before me, I too must face death. My bones are old, and my heart has grown weak and small from its original form. It must be returned to its birthplace, lest the breath be choked from the very cosmos themselves. That is your duty.
Very interesting goal.
Yeah. That is our deal. I don't know what to say about them. That was enlightening.
I'm still not entirely clear on it myself.
A lot of seeds being sown here, I suppose.
Yep.
This is going to be what fertilizes the end, as well as the beginning. Make sure the imperative nature of its purpose isn't lost on you, literally or metaphorically. But that is for later. Right now we're in a safe space in which the gravity of the situation isn't weighing us down quite yet. The initial plot dump is out of the way, though. How about a joke to lighten the mood from serious consequence into introspection? I know you're interested in the types of people who can do that. Oh, I accidentally went towards introspection again. I like a joke. Or actually, no, that last set didn't line me up correctly for comedy. There isn't anything here that calls for laughs at all, really. Nor anything that allows for comedic explanation. These are the fallbacks of being the mouthpiece inside of a fuzzy void, sadly.
He's having trouble back there.
Oh yeah, I didn't really see that's doing something. Oh dear. You know, I have a myriad of bone puns and props I plan to exploit later. That's because this form truly is the most fun version of me that I've ever gotten into. If anything, my imminent demise derives the need of its use. For you, I could make an exception of foreshadowed conditions if you stopped making all of those odd sputtering noises. Oh, that's right, you're supposed to be dying now. That's... Okay. Your conscience is being interfered with, or at least that is how the narrative flow wills it to be. It is sad you can't stay here as much as I would very much like you to. You know you're a favourite of mine, as are all your friends, but the will of reality and its basis among fiction and non-fiction is a very picky beast, and too many times have I dealt with that problem personally. We can't have much more of that. Many of you are bound to join us on your first go-around in this game, but you can't be one of them this time. Really? An overly simple goodbye is all I will part you with, but I will be here, and as always, I will also be with you. Huh. So, he's supposed to be dying, and it sounds like he can't be playing the game yet. First go round.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that's about, actually.
Oh. After that, a thought has come to me, a thought pertaining to the number 12. There is no denying its importance in our tale thus far, no matter what strain it fits into. It's considered a perfect number here, if nothing else. There are 12 main characters acting in a story they don't realise. 12 personalities who once again attempt to give their lives and the lives of others meaning. I'm trying to think. Hang on. No, nothing. Sorry, I was thinking if that was a pun, if 12 was actually a perfect number, mathematically, but it's not.
Oh, yeah. I still don't understand, like, prime numbers and shit. I mean, I assume that's what it's
Prime
referencing.
number. Yeah, I don't know, I was thinking, like, perfect number is that's a thing that I think if all its factors add up to the number, something like that. But 12 isn't. I thought that was gonna be a pun. Fitting 12 aspects that I didn't read this. There are 12 main characters acting in a story they don't realise. 12 personalities who once again attempt to give their lives and the lives of others meaning. Fitting 12 aspects that compound the reason they live in the first place. But I think you always knew that much, didn't you? I mean, I could have guessed. It's kind of standard. In any case, it's time for us to return to our scheduled viewing. A dog.
Doggo! Also, I noticed that in that please stand by screen, the aspects are the colors are corresponding to their aspects and their co-player.
I see.
I say co-players. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what that little bottom bar is.
Yeah, I was thinking the colours had to mean something. But,
not co-players, I mean server players.
Yeah,
you get what I mean.
Yeah. And it's finally time for us to learn the blue guy's true identity. Allow me to put myself back into context. Enter name.
Doggy!
Ah!
Puppy!
That is a good dog. Your name is Levan Ferru. It's an interesting name. You were born with a very rare and severe lung condition. While in the artificial development process, your lungs ended up becoming a few sizes too small, which makes it very hard for you to speak, run, or commit to any sort of physical activity due to the overall lack of breath you have. Is this guy going to be a breath player then?
Nope, that was Art Jack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know, I just, it's like, after the Alpha Kids introduction, I see an aspect, and I... This doesn't stop you from doing so regardless, however. You spend a majority of your time hunting big game with your trusty mutt, and you are quite the sharpshooter. Except for when you aren't. You've had a number of horrible accidents when it comes to your rifle, one of which actually ended up changing your life for the better somehow. You have an affinity towards performing taxidermy on the animals you take home, which you then turn into varying statues, trophies, knickknacks, and other items which you sell online. You aren't
This is why he needed skin.
Ah, that actually makes sense. You aren't exactly sure why anybody is interested in buying what you create, as it's really only for fun, but you aren't going to say no. This isn't even mentioning your awful habit of running out of glue either. You're pretty avidly into knot tying, weird hobby, but are notably pretty bad at it, and just end up connecting a majority of the tangles you create into a large pile.
That was totally on purpose. You can't say it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh! That took me a moment. Oh. Oh,
sorry.
you're right. Oh no. Okay. You also enjoy playing games with your friends, though you're more into the old age games than any of the ones from recent sweeps, most of which quite literally warp reality as a whole. Though you did rank at the top of the leaderboards in a game of this nature with an old friend, the aging anthropomunicipality is a big guilty pleasure of yours that you continuously enjoy to this day, despite how the messages that it tries to hammer into your head don't work when it's a polygonal mess of multicoloured loose-eye lookalikes glitching around. That's why you love it so much. Your troll tag is Windless Artificer, and you speak in a way that lets you breathe when needed. What will you do? I feel like I'm talking a lot today. It's a lot of narration, I guess, and white noise.
It's a lot of male. It's a lot of
yeah.
male intros.
Yeah. I think.
That'll change soon.
Well, okay, I just feel like I'm, just dominating today. It's gonna happen. Retrieve green sun. Oh no. It's not on you. You must not have been able to take it back from the static. Oh, that doesn't seem good.
Nope, there it is.
Oh no. Okay, it was just on your desk instead. I put it there for can't be bothered with the voice. I put it there for safekeeping, by the way, just in case something implausibly dumb could happen to it, like your Lucis eating it and cracking the shell of the pendant, then leading to the span of your universe being consumed in bellowing green flame. It might not be professional of me to interject this at all, but I needed to get that joke out of my system somehow. You're welcome.
So basically, the casing it's in cannot crack, or shit will happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is kind of similar to that, one spear trident thing Jane has that has Skya inside it, yeah.
I think it's similar to that. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, that thing's really cool. That spear.
It's really
whatever
cool,
it's called.
Also really dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you even alchemize that. And did you capture Skya?
God. I don't know, maybe maybe someone had something similar. Oh, she had Dad's wallet, which could capture anything.
I guess so.
Because I think Jade capture locked the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was... Oh yeah, she did. I was thinking of something else. It's now a little more okay to hold on to this. You think you might end up doing what you originally planned and keep it around your neck. Before you can do so, however, you notice you have an unchecked message from a special someone. Examine computer. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet.
I love her, she's adorable.
She does look so. I'm wondering who's... Wait. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking back and forth and stuff. I'm just wondering who's doing the thumbs up there.
I want to say... Oh, yeah.
I mean, yellow... wristband thing, or whatever that is. Looks like a wristband... whatever.
My guess is that it's, my guess is that it's Murid. I don't actually remember, though.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. After a shortly pitiful musing at a loving memory, you open up your Scorp client. avoiding the idea of playing another gag-filled round of Anthropomunicipality. Stop making me say that as hard as you can. But you can endlessly stick a jumping about in grey void with no furniture. It's hard to dismiss, but King Murrit Dino Gadget is a little busy right now. Your Scorp theme is Buster Blues, and it is the exact same thing as the systematic stock theme, only it's blue and makes starting and ending conversation notifications blue. Quite possibly the best theme there is, in your humble opinion. Answer, special someone.
I actually want to voice her, but that means you have to voice him.
Sure. Yeah. I'll try my best. Oh god, Comic Sans. The worst quirk, automatically.
There is a reason for this, and I love it.
Well, I guess I'll see.
Alright.
You go.
Pliable Decadence began trolling. Hi!
Hey,
Ivan!
that's me.
I know! But hey, listen!
No, you listen.
Wait, what?
Oh, I didn't actually have anything to say. I just wanted to keep up with the listen gag. What did you need to tell me?
Well,
I know I'm not doing the breathing very well. I'm trying.
I know, that's fine.
It feels really weird as a to do to me.
From experience, it actually gets me a little winded when I do that. So it's fine if you don't.
I just feel weird doing it.
That's fair. What was I? Oh yeah. Well, I got UK's memo about the big game thing that we're all supposed to do as a group. I don't really get it. I mean, I'm a big fan of wacky plans, and golly does this guy know how to get wacky with them. But this one is too complex for me to wrap my simple cranial thinker around. And that's saying something because I can understand him some of the time. But I know you and him get a little more buddy-buddy than me and him, so do you have any information you can bestow upon me that's actually readable? Did he give you information too?
Yeah, I talked to him a little. Pretty sure he at least shot the memo in everyone's direction. Well, except her, for whatever reason. But as far as, like, an in-depth why and what exactly we need to do, I'm still not entirely sure myself. Just that it's been something he's chipped away at. Which I know you already know. And it's at least kind of important, I guess.
Why?
I don't know.
So, you're telling me that we are blindly following the instructions of a greasy fish man without, 1, any plan whatsoever, and 2, complete and total agreement from the riffraff?
I mean, yeah.
Oh my god, color me about 322 shades of skeptical.
Just went on the next page. And I see. And oh my god, I just noticed in the background too.
Yep.
That took me a second to notice.
There he is.
Also, she's adorable.
She is adorable, I love her.
Oh, it's me.
Yep.
Though, you're at least curious about it, right? Sounds pretty interesting if nothing else. This is not your usual type of game deceiving methods.
I mean, yeah.
Are you just saying that to mock me? Or do you actually mean it?
Bit of both. Duh.
That works.
I seriously don't believe we've had anybody speak up otherwise saying, no, I don't want to do this, that sounds dumb. Or, if that did happen, they certainly haven't tried very hard to get their point across. As far as I know, this is all just kind of happening. Man, tonight is always the night things decide to happen. I'm tired of things happening on tonight specifically. We need a new thing happening night. We need a new thing happening night. I'm making the motion for it right now, and apparently since everyone just doesn't care, I'm assuming they'll vote for it.
I'm all for that. I'd be cool with things happening moving to... Oh, weird sentence. I'd be cool with things happening moving to a different time. At least shake it up a little. Sadly, I don't think we can change the universe's affinity for that pattern. I go through a constant cycle of, like, nothing happening ever, and then suddenly, Approximately about 10 things decide to happen tonight for reasons unknown to us mortals. Other nights still too sometimes, but mostly this one. Some good came out of it, though. Woof. I'm not actually woofing.
I know.
It's just not gonna happen.
I don't either when I read it, so you're fine. Are you making reference to what I think you're making a reference to? Wait, hold on. Okay. Are you making reference to what I think you're making a reference to? There are a lot of things that have occurred tonight, so I just want to make completely super duper sure that that's the topic we're on here.
I totally am. The good part of it, not the bad part.
Oh, so the part where you shot me in the leg, permanently leaving me a gimp forever?
Oh. Yeah, that's the bad part. That's the part I didn't want you to talk about. Stop talking about it.
But it's important to our history! How many people find their true sense of red romance in only one night? I've said it before and I'll say it again. That bullet was magic.
You know what I really like in a guy is when they shoot me in the leg. Just
Just romance things.
Mm-hmm. Trolls are weird. No, the bullet was just a bullet. Trust me, I checked. Everything after the bullet was the magic.
We are everything wrong with feelings. Did you know that?
I do. I question myself constantly.
Same, me too, dude. Usually after I do that, though, I send you a little heart emote, and I feel better. Heart.
Thanks.
Say you love me and happy anniversary, you maggot weasel. I won't be able to leave and be worried about this whole game situation amicably if you don't at the very least do that much for me. We've already started getting cheesy with it, so we need to seal the deal.
Okay. I love you. Happy anniversary. Glad I'm stuck with you. Oh, these two are
The
cute.
feeling is mutual. They're adorable. I love them. Now I'm going to go ahead and search for more information regarding what in the hell all this even is. Then I'll probably forget I'm doing that and just remain optimistically anxious. Something tells me following the chief executive of semi-fake chest obsessions is not going to end up being compromised by me. But promise me something.
Yeah?
Keep an eye out for apocalypse news, all right? It isn't around here, but I don't put anything past his wiles.
Really? If he wanted to enlist us in his horrific accordion-packing polka party murder circus, we would already be there.
There's the Weird Owl reference.
Ah.
Whatever, I just can't believe it's still gaining traction. To think I was the biggest fan and follower of a long-haired cultist goon who has now since gone on a rampage, complete with a militia and otherworldly demons, just for the sake of his own sadistic amusement. Guess something like this really means the world's going to be ending soon, huh?
Guess we'll find out.
Yes, we will.
Don't smile after something so ominous. It's scary.
Bye, Liven. Heart.
Weird Al
You
is...
get to learn more about Weird Al,
Ha.
and it's going to be great.
Examine drawing on desk. It's a...
Good artist.
Ah, yeah, nice. It's a sketch of one of your two original characters. This one's name is Figment. I think that's copyrighted. Disney.
Well,
He's a nightmarish construct of your other character, Abel. He's kind of like an imaginary friend, only he really doesn't act like much of a friend at all. You got the idea after you arrived on Frostbit, in a way. The two act somewhat similar to one another.
I wonder if that's referencing something.
I don't know. Or foreshadowing something. Pet Lucis. This is good.
Good dog, best friend.
Best page so far. You give Mutt a light ruffle of his head fuzz. He's incredibly
You can't pet the dog in trial error.
He's incredibly receptive to the gesture. He isn't very bright, but he has a lot of heart. A good boy if ever you've seen one. That is so true. Examine shelf. You walk towards your nearby shelf and take a moment to look at the contents because you neglected to do so earlier on in the heat of your game. You came in here initially on a hunt before you decided to lay down. Your workroom isn't very good for napping. Not like the dog bed. Not like the dog bed. On your shelf is 482 pieces of printer paper, 1 pencil case with approximately 5 pencils and 1 needed eraser, 1 extra sewing kit, 1 militant horde brand army knife, 1 line of rope adorned with unloosenable knots, and 1 empty glue bottle. Damn, you were hoping there would at least be a drop left. The one on the shelf next to it doesn't have any either, and you can't use the glue attaching your Lucis's toys together because it's already dried. What a letdown that you were actually kind of absolutely expecting.
He was asking for glue earlier.
Oh yeah. I remember now. You guess you're going to have to start getting into the crevices of your workroom to find some extra. You really, really need it. Oh, you were, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what kind of voice I gave her. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, this is going to require some actual acting. Needed ahead of time. Okay. Please. I'm sorry for bothering, but I don't know what's happening. I've lost who I am. I need someone to help me. Please just help me. Please. Oh God, it hurts.
Oh.
Yeah, that just happened. Oh, and now I get to read.
Oh yeah. Good acting, by the way.
Huh?
I was saying good voicing.
I tried.
Yeah, it's good not to have much serious emotions yet, I guess.
Oh, they're coming.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
You can't rely on help, no matter how much you ask. You know you can't save them like you were supposed to. Already you regret sending out those messages to Liven on your teletablet. Also, it just occurred to me that it's even funnier that I'm reading these now that we know that White Noise is the narrator. So we're kind of both White Noise right now. But you don't know what else there is for you to do when you feel as if your entire purpose for living has changed within an instant. I'll be on check ring. Your body chemistry is off the charts, and as such you were forcibly evicted from the cell as soon as your guardian gave you the news. At this point, you don't know what you're feeling other than the fact that it's tearing you apart on the inside, and you're not sure if you want to know. Receive message. No. No, you can't bring her into this, no matter how much she wants to be involved. She can't be a part of this. Read. I'll do this voice too.
Okay. Oh, the tears on the tablet.
I know!
Oh.
Honey. Alright, she types in italics.
Oh.
Albion? Are you there at all? I know tonight is a pretty big deal and you're probably busy, but I thought I would at least hear something from you. I have not over the entire course of the night so far. It really worries me. Especially considering what you told me about not being yourself anymore after tonight. I also received a message from Murray about some sort of game. He's not very helpful and I do not really know how to speak with him regardless. Or most of the others. But it seems like I have to join. It's supposedly from what he said you do too? I'm not going to argue it. I am really just so lost as to what is going on tonight in general. But if you could please just tell me something before you go, it would make me feel much better about all this. I miss you. Aw, my heart.
Oh, that face is breaking my heart.
My heart's been broken several times already.
No, she's got rainbow eyes.
You. You lied to me! You have... Wait. You have left everyone in this world to die! Why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken us? I want an answer!
Oh, I don't remember this voice. I don't think so.
Go with whichever.
We have already given you the answer, our child. I think it was something like that.
It works. I don't even think I'm doing the same voice for her as I did, last time. We're not gonna remember.
This isn't a professional operation.
Those weren't answers. What you gave me was a bunch of words strewn together in order to set apart your fault from the truth. I want to know why I am here. I want to know why I exist.
What we had said in our semi-final meeting was what you call a truth. We told you that your purpose was to leave this doomed planet, rather than save it. We told you that it was due to a divine intervention, and there is one which we have been preparing for since we became engraved within your being. You were never the first Star Child to hold this position. You were only meant to be the last. There was one before you, one who controlled the line in her favour, despite being turned away by the one the one who was to grant her wish. We are bound to her in the same way we are now bound to you. We made a promise that we must keep. We needed to tell you a faux tale of this world, so that we could follow through and allow your preservation on the outside.
And what is this promise you made to this god?
To bring you back here. And to let her take control through your hidden passions. What's going on? Just clicking through. I'm on big Lucis thing now.
Big scary Lucis thing.
Just, keeping you up to date on... Well, actually, that's the thing when you got a lot of panels, no dialogue. We just gotta sync up.
Oh yeah, she dropped her quirk entirely.
Oh.
Well, technically, I don't know how much... Well, this is probably not a spoiler. It's technically... While it's technically her talking, it's someone else talking through her.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Okay.
I forget what...
Has it begun?
I have absolutely no idea what voice I did for this one.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. Which id are you talking about? There are a lot of its going on for me right now, so you're going to have to be a little more specific.
The meteors. Do they now skate across the densely packed evening sky chasms, painting over its canvas with their eagerly weaving flares?
Yeah, I saw that. Wouldn't describe it as anything so highfalutin myself, though. It's just another addition to the ever-growing pile of shit I have to deal with. At the top of the pile is trying to avoid a second skirmish with my Lucis today. I've tucked away near the waterfall to throw off his trail. There's no winning here. The most I can do is hold him off or this, hoping he wanders far enough away for me to just sneak past him. But at this point, that's not looking very likely either. Not with Motormouth watching my every move and trying to tell me his most potent facts that gives my cranial matter lactate rot. This guy is so hard to read.
I know.
Luckily, I got him under my control using a classic shut-up technique. But I guess this media garbage means I don't really have too long to wait around. I'm probably dead here either way, considering Armageddon is apparently bowling down on us from the sky.
Death is inevitable. There is no certainty other than it will one day happen to us all. However, unlike most others, our concerns need not lie in the immediate future. We have been chosen. We perpetuate the meaning of life itself, and as such are special. More so than anyone else on this planet, in any place, or at any time. Our lives are what matter, conceited as that sounds. That is why these events have been set into motion. It is all for a singular unified purpose, down to even the most minute of details. Details which I am about to entrust with you, and only you. Do not follow credence of the man who spins words like yarn, Mersive.
I never know what to actually say about these conversations, but I'm thinking hard about a lot of this. I don't know.
There's a lot. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of conflict and interest, I think, but I don't know in
Yeah.
what way.
There's just a lot going on, and most of it's still very mysterious.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really say much, like, meaningfully about it, I suppose. I don't know who that is, and what does any of that have to do with my current situation? Even if I am special, whatever that means, how does that help me not die via inconvenient media shower, or even more inconvenient angry Lucis? Honestly, it sounds like you're just feeding me meaningless platitudes to distract me from my imminent doom. I don't care if I'm important, I just want to survive.
The path to salvation will reveal itself to you when it must. My role is not to shepherd you along it, but to provide counsel in seeking it yourself. This includes soothing your fears so you might embrace full clarity of mind and body. I have learned the only effective way of accomplishing that is by allowing you the information you need to understand the true reality of your circumstance, as well as your being. Because without my guidance, you will remain ignorant. This is something I wish to offer, but wishes do not solve problems, and wanting them only makes the dilemma more prevalent. This is something they do not understand.
Actually, I think I understand my circumstance pretty well without your guidance. Unlike what you believe of me right now. I am between a rock and a hard place, and all you seem to want to do is waste what little time I have, making absolutely no sense at all, as this day has been bred to do. You know, I'm not sure I like this. Whatever all is going on here with you right now, and I don't like this new quirkless tone either. I mean, I guess I should maybe try to understand while I still can. I don't have any better answers available to me, but if you aren't going to help me figure out how to deal with the medias or whatever, would you at least explain who this guy or guys I'm supposed to be watching out for is? If I can avoid having to deal with another vapid chatterbox, that would be great.
He is the one who oversees life in the place of actuality, one who speaks in broken tones, who is preparing the use of our worth in the game where none of us have any choice in our inclusion. Sorry. Even those in the background being affected and paving the way to the place where you're bound to go. You will know his mark personally when finding blackened text and scattered sound. And you will know of the lime-blooded vessel to his heart. Stop her. Save yourself. Oh, that makes sense to me in context now.
Oh, I'll have to remember
But yeah,
it then.
she is talking about white noise.
Yeah. Figured that much. That's it. Not even. Oh, that's it. Not even a name or anything. And what's this about a lime blood? Are you talking about EO? Did she do something? Is she the cause of this? Hey, Albion, are you there? What do you mean? What the hell is going on? How am I supposed to save anyone if I don't know what I'm saving them from besides a rock that I can't slow down? Or if I can't even save myself?
I have finished entrusting you with my thoughts and feelings. Spread them. Spark the crusade you were meant to in another life. You will know the reasons why soon enough. It has already been ensured by this conversation.
Yeah. I think you dropped out. Hello? Oh my god, is this happening again? Huh. Maybe just try leaving the call and rejoining? I don't know. Ugh.
Hello?
Oh, hello. You
Okay,
back?
well, that was weird.
Yeah, that...
Yeah, because everything seemed fine on my end, so it wasn't my internet.
Oh, it's weird.
Where did we...
I think we're at the end of the page.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you get all my dialogue there?
On all of it, actually, so you may as well just, do it again.
Yeah, okay.
Why
I have
not?
finished entrusting you with my thoughts and feelings. Spread them, spark the crusade you were meant to in another life. You will know the reasons why soon enough. It has already been ensured by this conversation alone. You won't be this way long, just as I won't. This only needed to be long enough to preserve a small hope in my spawn. Ooh.
Oh, spooky. What are you talking about? Albion? Come on! Ugh! Fuck all of this and fuck my life. Beam of it. Yay.
Neat.
Don't we all want to beam it? Deep down.
Oh, I think this is where that hentai dungeon comes in.
Oh, lovely.
There's only one panel. Don't worry.
Will it get me banned from Twitch forever?
Probably.
Good. Let's carry on then. After reminding yourself of what's important, you have once again successfully managed to evade death and make it to your hentai dungeon. This is where it happened. You know what? Hang on. Just to be safe, I put a thing. I don't know if you are watching the stream.
I know when it is. It's not on the next page, but it's on the page after it.
I don't know if you're watching on the stream, but I've taken precautions. It's a good thing you made it out of there with no real relative injuries. Or at least not any that are worse than what happened when you and Scabbard were stuck together back in the good old days. Scabbard? Well, Lucis? Or... I don't know. Should I know who that is?
It's probably his Lucis.
Yeah.
If I were to guess.
Okay, examine wall. Oh! Oh boy.
There it is.
I mean, it's probably okay for Twitch, but I'll be safe. I mean, like anyone...
It's quote-unquote censored,
yeah.
so...
I mean, like the mods are
censored,
watching...
you know.
It's like the Twitch mods are watching my one viewer stream anyway, but... but, like, you know... And I don't want someone... Like, I don't want to become famous in the future and then someone digs this up. And, you know...
Yeah, that's fair. One viewer is me, by the way.
Well, you know what? It's not about the fame. I mean, I put them on YouTube. I put the first part on YouTube, and someone said they wanted more. So that's someone.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was on YouTube. Cool.
Yeah. That's at least one person who will be spared this. Also, was he covered in blood last time we saw him? I'm just kind of processing that now.
Basically, it was mentioned that when he goes through his hive, it's rigged with like a bunch of...
Oh, yeah.
His Rubik's Cube, so...
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. This wall was never desecrated, still standing after all the history centered around it. It was a rather fortunate outcome that the trolls who constructed this temple, and now part-time hentai dungeon, as a place of worship. It's a place of worship, dude. Oh. We're nice enough to leave this section intact, unlike much of the rest of the temple, which you had to recover and reconstruct bit by bit. So you took note of this particular side first thing, and after that was completed, then you trashed it. Responsibility is a powerful thing in your hands. Yep.
Gotta love Merritt. He's wonderful.
You also take note of your important pair of emergency shades, which are down here just in case you happen to be rushing haphazardly into an abandoned cathedral under the orders of some old words on a wall and a skeleton to await the release of a dubiously explained cataclysmic phenomenon. A time just like now, in fact. You put the shades on and snicker a little about how dumb this all sounds on paper, or in this case, walls. Examine next wall.
We're safe
Seems
from
like
the hentai now.
it's safe. Okay. I'll just put the stream back.
As
There we
far
go.
as I'm aware, it doesn't show up again. Nothing against the creators. I thought that panel was hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
We
absolutely.
gotta be safe for work here.
This is some interesting symbology that I don't know what it means yet. These symbols are far from your species' general understanding, not only because they create a language barrier the likes of which you would never encounter.
Did you take... Oh, okay.
Sorry, well...
This stream was delayed on my end, so I was wondering if you put the thing down.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's down now.
Well, that's a long delay if that was how long it took, but no one's watching.
My internet's not the best, so
I mean...
it's probably treated to that.
Neither's mine, but no one's watching, so it doesn't matter. But also because they are read from right to left. You came to find out that these symbols translate to exist, static, cycle, entropy, and rebirth, respectively. Each symbol has a set of numbers underneath. The top symbol works different from the others. You realised every green symbol scattered across the temple can be forged from this particular mould. However, this set here is representative of something important in relation to all other symbol sets. This set represents the meteors and their purpose in the end of your planet. That's interesting. This static cycle, entropy, rebirth. I can see how that relates.
Yeah. It's very, it's very reminiscent of, like, how Esper works in general.
Yeah.
Like, the general purpose of, like, the creation of a universe and all of that.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah. Though you know that much, you don't necessarily know if these symbols are simply prophecy or hold a slightly more effective level of importance in their setup. Even when you're supposed to know everything, you still can't just know everything. But what you do know thus far, after figuring out the meaning of each of these ancient texts and codes, is that the majority of these marks were used in a worshipping process relating to 12 shared aspects that make up existence and a specific release process centering around them. Which leads you to... here we go. This flower. It's been here since the beginning of time, so the legends say. Everything here was built around this singular carnation. It was only meant to have 2 releases, and on these walls there are various interpretations as to how it works, but the message remains the same. One release settles the essence of life into the world, planting the seeds of fertility and consciousness into the earth that you now stand on. The other is to end everything the first release stood for. And now you're here to watch it all go down, but you have a few minutes until then. Kick pot. God damn it.
Crocs. That's
of course.
I just realized.
Of course he does. With socks. Hit pod. Stop it. No, you don't actually want to destroy this thing. Besides, there have been lots of people who've tried to break it open, including you. If it was possible, one of them would have figured it out a long time ago. You just wanted to make a point that you're tired of waiting and did something silly to waste time. Besides, you left your golden spiked knuckles back in your main block. You aren't just going to punch through rock with your bare fists like an idiot, even if you do enjoy acting like one. Receive message. You're pretty sure Blue Dog finally got his ass up, unlike one of your other friends. You can't really tell if it's actually him. You're basing this off the random ping you heard from somewhere in the temple. You have too many computers, televisions, smart televisions, and television computers to know where it came from exactly. You would answer him immediately, but you neglected to bring one of his many devices with you. This is why you should always have at least 5 computers on you at all times.
Like a sensible person.
There is a solution to this, though. Open surveillance modus. That's an odd-looking one. You open your surveillance modus. It begins displaying itself as a set of capture cards oriented in a way that is not unlike the arrangement of your TVs. If a card is empty, it displays static. Whenever you capture log an item, one of these cards acts as a screen through which you can view the item in real time. That could be a very useful one, I feel.
Yeah.
This item is not moved into your inventory, but instead remains exactly where you left it. When you wish to retrieve the item, it is transported from its monitored location to your location instantly. You are able to freely retrieve and monitor whatever you like, but if the item is moved from its surveilled location, the signal is lost, and you can no longer retrieve the item unless you capture log it again. You don't really mind too much, as you are currently monitoring only one item. The cons of dealing with your shitty modus and the consequences it brings far outweigh the pros of using it for anything other than special circumstances.
I still wonder what prompts people to use these really outlandish modi.
Masochism? I don't know.
Like, just use an array modus like a normal person.
I know. Did, like, anyone ever use, like, a sensible modus at any point in Homestuck?
Other than John.
Well, yeah, but he
I mean, after he actually got it, and maybe Jake, if only because the only thing holding him back is just making sure it fits.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, the wallet is kind of works as an array.
The wallet is pretty OP for a modus.
Yeah.
Wallet best modus.
My wallet can't fit a car inside. It's very disappointing. The item that you are monitoring is your only available backup computer. Your Donkamitop,
I guess? I don't know what the hell that means, though.
Donkamit to comp.
Oh, wait, no, I totally read that wrong. Doncommitacomp.
I can't think what that is supposed to mean.
I don't even know what words that's based on. So.
Yeah, drawing a blank there. Currently it is lying atop a pile of various body pillows that represent your friends.
That's not creepy at all.
These are in a nearby secret hideaway block that would require a lot of effort and poise to reach without serious injury. You have a feeling that that's where the pingster is. You stole it sweeps ago from some goon hiding away in a rinkadink submarine after a game of dung. You had every intent on giving it back after you changed your ways, but then you remembered that you murdered the poor guy. Or really... Fair. Or really your partner in crime murdered him in your stead. I'm wondering if that's to do with, like, when he was, like, midnight... No, that wouldn't make sense if it was a troll. Never mind.
Nah, his partner in crime is Dismas.
Right. The computer is transported you upon choosing its card. Let's see. I don't know why, I'm just really struggling with that word. Let's see if you can remember how to properly manage talking to another troll on this thing. Answer Laven. Oh. I'll be him. Yeah, I'll be him again.
I gotta stick with Murrid. I gotta be faithful here.
No, it's your boy now. Hey, I'm up and about. Figure it's getting pretty close now. The good news is, I did run into White Noise just before I woke up, which we both expected. He gave me a pretty important piece to all this. Nothing I can deal with right this minute, but I got it. I'm guessing we should talk about it later, given the time.
We should talk about who in the fuck is White Noise.
Well, you know, the knick-knack paddywhack give the dog a bone, man.
That's a good way to reference him.
Guess that makes sense.
Fucking yeah, I know who you was talking about. Just wanted you to say it in a better manner, and you delivered as always.
Nice. The bad news is, though, that I have searched everywhere, and I still can't find a bit of glue. I think I'm going to give up, also due to the time.
Thoughts and prayers out to you. Me, I did some just as incredulous as well as incredible. Made it deep into the hole. Got some minor injuries here, there, and everywhere, but it ain't nothing I can't just shake off. A little lightheaded, ain't no heavy deal. Heavy deals be along the line that I have long since crossed. Now I'm just sitting here waiting for the payoff to come.
Why'd you have to spell it?
God damn it, Murrid.
About how long do we have now?
Given how consistent it is, I'm gonna say that it's actually on time with a little less than 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Any guess as to what exactly is gonna pop out of this frilly pad here? I'm guessing that whatever it is, the first thing it's gonna do. Oh wait, never mind. I'm guessing that whatever it is, the first thing it's gonna do is that. God damn it. Let me read that. How does this sentence work?
Whatever the first thing it's gonna do is that it's gonna knock me flat on.
Okay, let's.
Don't know if that's completely grammatically sound.
I'm guessing that whatever it is, the first thing it's gonna do is that it's gonna knock me flat onto my hot ass, and I'm just gonna stare back at the blinding end and be like, "Whoa."
No idea. What does this prophecy look like in any sort of physical form? I mean, we only know that this is where the game happens. Might just be as easy as some file we need to spread around.
Personally, I'm holding out there'd be a big explosion of some sort, but if our luck has anything to do with it, then it'll just be some filthy McRotten-ass dude telling us we just got punked. Through the confetti and studio audience bellyache in their canned laughter for effect as I walk down into the murky legion of waterlogged doom to kill myself.
I don't think that'd kill you exactly. At least not very fast. Especially in your case. Would mess you up good, though.
Sounds like the perfect way to get melancholy in your lifeblood a-flowing. Guess it's good that it ain't... Guess it's good that ain't what I'm talking about. No. Guess it's good that ain't what I'm about. Jesus Christ.
Are you saying you never get sad?
Nah, son, I ain't saying I don't bust with feelings. I'm saying I don't get as bad as the rest of you sad sacks, though. I mean, sure, this is a sad place and a sad time, with sad boys and sad girls and the sad looming environmental hell creeping up with making the struggle extra worse. But like, if I don't keep afloat with us here, then who will?
I mean, I'm usually pretty alright.
But you're not me. Gotta keep personality differences starked and erected, or else we all just run together. So I'll keep being a rubber, and you be the glue.
True. I guess in a roundabout sense, you actually wrote that metaphorical insult. Oh, actually, speaking of, do you have any idea what's going on with Albion right now? She sent me a few frantic messages earlier. I don't talk to her very often, but she didn't seem like she was doing so great. Tried checking back on her, but now I'm not hearing anything back. So...
I don't got no motherfucking know-how to sparkle steel here, man. Only people I got talking to outside of the general memo was you, Jugglemouths, and Scarwreck. And Bottom Tooth, if you want to even call that a convo. Which I tried my damn darnest to try and make not work. I'm gonna make the wild guess that she's fine, even if she ain't, we gotta worry about startup before we can get onto the collateral. You ask me, I'm damn sure nothing too awful could ever happen to us right now. By virtue, we get to be momentarily invincible as key turner to the ignition of boldly going. Really, I'm just bunker graded on this whole I don't know what's happening phrase that keeps getting slung around like cheapo smatter in our fodder bond. What the hell does that even mean? Me and you are most important to the setup of outing, and even we don't get full detail privilege. Like, damn, I don't gotta. Oh my god, hold on.
Nearly done.
I gotta read these to myself so I can know what the hell he's saying. Like, damn, I don't got a whole scrapbook of the pics I'm showing off, but I'm still doing it because it's gotta be done. Just wish sometimes there was a flow to go along with.
That would make all the ambiguity a bit easier to handle, but it isn't our call. We have to be the flow for them, because really, I can see why this all sounds a bit overwhelmingly stupid, or at least just overwhelming, but there's not much we can do, or that I can do. Not until after ArcJet gets in anyways. Which leaves us with the question of, once the whole flower deal is done in a minute, what do you think we're going to be doing? I don't think we get to do anything after the blooming, really. We just sit back and twiddle our stick phalanges.
Well, I know that Russlet's going to be steaming up a message as soon as this is said and done. I told her the big news in a type. In a type?
In guess.
I told her. Oh, okay, I get it. I told her the big news in the type, and she just wasn't having it. So guess she's gonna have to learn the hard way about how this is all going down. Us too. Finally, some learning of crafts instead of pissing tears on it. So while she's flipping out and Soda Jerk is pulling out, how's about me and you get back on with some adherence to the furry politics? I think I is to be owning. Goddamn. I think I is to be owing you one.
For sure. Because you do owe me one. Woof.
Hop on, and I'll be meeting you there shortly after I dub the Siren Yell letters for my flappers. With us being so fucking important, I think we should get a chance to play us the real games here. Oh, wait, hold on. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the stream either went down for me or went down in general, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Not seeing any problem. Let me actually test it.
I just got a network and
You got a what, sorry?
I think it was just me.
It's working on my end, I just checked.
Okay, I guess it's just me then. Well, we can keep going.
Yeah. It's recording anyway, so.
Oh,
Flower,
yeah, there it is.
Flower doing
Where was
things.
I?
We finished that page, didn't we? Oh no, we didn't.
Oh no.
Sorry.
No, I.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you had like one
With us
line
being
left.
No, I'll just read the last few lines.
Yeah, well.
With us being so fucking important, I think we should get a chance to play as the real games here. Now I'm settling for fake. It's here.
Ooh. Flower's doing what it does.
Oh, I think my internet's being dumb, cause panel's not loading.
Ooh.
Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I got it now.
Cool.
So things happened.
Oh, yes. That what is that coming out of the flower? It's shooting lightning and stuff. I'm on, so that's
Sure
the page
is.
I'm on. Whoa. I agree.
Just like he said.
Oh.
It's your girl.
Oh god.
Jasper.
What? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. What? What in the pantomiming fuck did you just do to my stag top? I can't really call that a Jasper voice. It's my closest approximation.
Honestly, it worked. I thought it was
Does
good.
it? Oh. Cool.
Keep going. It's good.
Haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah. I missed her.
It's been too long.
Very angry. Didn't do nothing.
Like a scathing fire pass, you didn't. You're the only one who could conceivably have the explanation to a ziplining flare busting through my wall and embedding itself into my hard drive. You told me about a game, and now I have one permanently stuck to my screen. There is no minimize, no exit, no power turn-off function that works. Can't even access another application. All I have is a screen, a bunch of buttons and figures I don't even come close to understanding, and a scorp icon. I bet it wouldn't even scrape if I dragged it across my now beaten-in block columns. You put up this goddamn stage, you didn't explain the participancy of my role.
You just really don't listen, huh?
This is a game, you told me. You told everyone the general gist, and now I want results.
Why in the fuck did you think I was tugging your tube earlier, Juggle Mount? I told you exactly what your role was, and you went and denied true facts of knowledge as per usual. You needed to talk to my guy Sad Boy, and you need to work him into the new age.
What does that mean? What facts was I given then?
Ones I know. Like shit I wasn't knowing that was how the game got peddled. Dry Bones has got a touch, it looks like. Props to him for it being on the quick and easy.
I am going to slash your eyes to form your slit dividers. I want to be... I was going to say, I would be a lot louder if my parents went to sleep.
That's fair. Truth be told, I don't know what a lot of this means myself, even though I prattle on about its importance. But you know, a great dude once said, "You don't listen, you die." No, wait, let me reread that. But you know, a great dude once said, "If you don't listen, you die." There's a pure and simple fact from Macho Man number 248 or whatever. I'm real tired of hand-me-down and answers to hands who don't chop my bit. I got my own score to settle on. I got my own score to settle on with a bang, brother. So you want my spin? Figure it out.
Ooh. Actually seeing the game for the first time. That's.
Yep. There he is. Lad.
I'm just.
I'll go ahead and read this.
I was actually just gonna say. Do you think this is maybe a decent place to leave off?
Actually,
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
So we've been going for like 2 hours now, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just it's late over here.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
it just seems like a sort of transition point.
Yeah, this is a good stop. This is a good place to stop. Then
Yeah.
we're good.
Got this to actually seeing the game to look forward to next time.
We finally get to go back to ArcCheck after all this time.
Yeah, it's been ages. Yeah. I feel like 2 hours is a good sort of length to go. I don't know. And
yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah, and I mean, really, it's just because it's pretty late and.
Yeah, I tend to forget that time zones are a thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't have any real sleep schedule at the weekends, but I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, who does nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun as always.
Yeah, I'm still loving this.
It's good reading through this again and actually remembering things.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff's actually starting to happen now. Like first time was a lot of character introductions and stuff did happen,
Yeah.
but
And there's still a lot of things I do not understand even after a second read through, either because it's all gone over my head or because they haven't been revealed yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is still very much going, so
Yeah, they're on hiatus for the next 4 to 6 months.
are they? Hopefully that means Actime can overtake again as the top rated. So I'm gonna check actually. We're in competition right now. There's 7 favourites between Actime and Vastera right now.
Oh, they're like neck and neck then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I know that I think they were implying that when Vastera comes out of hiatus, they're going to be uploading a Flash. That's my assumption behind the hiatus.
Oh, nice.
Because,
Not had many flashes
they
yet.
left on a pretty big point.
Yeah, I've heard things about whatever the last thing was. I mean, that's kind of what made me think finally, want to actually get around to reading it. Yeah, I'm scared and also excited for whatever it was.
Same.
Because I really don't know if
I
really don't. I mean, in terms of what happened last, because
yeah.
I don't really know anything about it, but I just saw people's reactions to it.
It's a thing. That's all I'll say.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna leave the stream off there. Thanks for watching. If you
Thank you
did.
for listening to our attempted voice acting.